Hey family, what's going on, beloveds? So we are still 3 weeks strong into our 26-week saving challenge. Now, I wanted to share a few things with you. Now, we're going over our money personalities. We're going over how to budget our money, how to stick to our budget. And right now, we're talking about, how much you should really be putting aside for each person in your family per month and sticking to that budget. But what we're not talking about is what happens if your budget is not working. You sometimes you find that the budget that you created for yourself does not work out. So what is it that you have to do? So here's what happens to me. Like sometimes I'll go to the grocery store and I should stick to maybe $100, for example, per person in my house. So maybe $400, $500 per month, right? Okay, sometimes I go to the grocery store and I'm spending $135 a week, $125 a week, 150, sometimes too much, right? So when you find that this is happening over and over again, right? This is why it's so important to track your spending, especially the first month of you entering this challenge and really looking over the past 6 months of your spending habits and your transactions and things like that. But keeping note and documentation will really show some things, show some things valid in your life that maybe if you were to really change these things, then you will start to see better results in any area. But in order for you to want to change, need to change, or realize that there needs to be a change, you need to really know what we're working with here. Is there a problem? And if there's a problem, then there's definitely a solution. So we're talking about our finances and our budgeting. So when you find that you're not meeting the budget that you set out for yourself, right? There's either two things that you need to do. You need to cut back. See what areas you need to cut back. If food is not the area that you can cut back, what other areas? Is it in your entertainment to make sure that you can increase the amount that you need for your groceries per month? Or, sorry to tell you, you need to get another hobby, another job. You need to find some way to increase the flow of income coming into you. Income comes to me, okay? And I like how income comes to me in in multiple quantities and different resources each and every single day. So listen, I'm gonna keep teaching you guys how to produce more income by using what's in your hand. We are very talented, skillful individuals, right? You are a divine empress. You are you're fruitful in all your ways, right? And abundant in all your ways. So somehow we're not being good stewards. So we just have to start correcting the things. The greatest thing is once you're waking about the things that that you're doing wrong, you have the choice and the ability to make that change, right? You can do that. You're that powerful. You just make your mind up and create discipline in your life, right? I love, love, love accountability, right? Accountability helps me get to where I need to go, right? Accountability, having accountability, for example, with groceries. I have accountability for so many things and so many reasons, and I have so many different people for different things. So for groceries, I love doing groceries with my children, right? We love, planning our list, doing the inventory, seeing what's in the house, what's needed in the house, what needs to be replaced in the house, in terms of groceries, right? And when we create our list and we follow through and go to the store, if I was to come off the list now, because I have my little soldier beside me, and they're like, that's on the list. They're checking the list twice, and they're checking it off and all of that. And dare I pick up something that was off the list, I would hear it the entire way, all the way in the grocery store and at home if I was to even still ignore that and leave it. So next time, guess what? I won't get into that habit. I would be more forced, and I would force myself to really stick to the list, right? And I'm going to get back to why that's so important. But you see, they'll go through the store and be like, that's not on the list, that's not on the list. Even after we've passed, that's not on the list. Even before we're checking out, that's not on the list. And then when we get in the house, Mom, you bought something that wasn't on the list, that's not on the list. So one, that's annoying. But I love it because it's accountability. It's accountability. It's helping me stay in line. It's a constant reminder. It's like you're shifting. Remember, this is what you said you wanted to do. If you keep going out of it, you're going to stay in the same cycle and you're going to just produce the same things. And you want to produce different, so we have to do different. Now, why is this important? It's important because, one, it's so much fun to have your children, pardon me, it's so much fun to have your children engage in what you're doing. It's teaching them a major lesson, right? Another thing, when you want to be you want to act in discipline, you want to produce, good action when you're working with your children, because remember, they're watching, right? They're watching. So at the end of the day, when you have them keeping you accountable, you want to do the right thing, because you don't want them to look at you as, oh, you're not consistent. Oh, you don't stick to your word. Oh, you just talk, but have no actions behind it, right? And if you've explained to them, what is necessary to get you guys out of a certain situation, I talk to my children, right? We create plans together for the house. Like, everything I do impacts them, so I love to include them and hear their opinions and have the conversation. That doesn't mean that I'm going to do what I just love hearing them and giving them that opportunity to express, right? And a lot of the things that they've given me, a lot of things that they said, they're really great ideas, and at that point we definitely stick to it and execute it as a family. Like, I don't make decisions without my children, because I come from a family, on one side of my family, where that's what we do. We come to the table as family. We have discussions. We make plans, business plans, saving plans, decisions, spending decisions, and things like that. We have those. We help each other when someone is going through a crisis. So each child, you train them in the way you want them to grow. So we want this to continue. We want this to follow through. On one side of my family, in the household that I was raised in, we didn't have that, right? So when you see something different and you see the result from one thing and the result from the other, you have a decision and you have a choice to make where you want to take things, where you're going to go with it, right? So be mindful, right? Be mindful and be intentional with what you're doing, because what you're doing right now, it's not what you're producing tomorrow or next week. It's something you're producing in the long run, right? In the future. Me installing these lessons into them and into you guys and everyone that signs up to these programs or listen to any of these lives and implement it in your life, you are producing long-term change. You're producing a new legacy, right? Your new generational habits into your life, right? Because again, if you pass it down to our future, which is our babies, it's something that's going to continue to repeat, and eventually the old ways of thinking will no longer be, right? So I just wanted to share those things with you guys. So I hope you guys are having an amazing journey in budgeting and really learning new habits and new ways and implement it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you haven't joined us, why not? What's going on? What's taking you so long? Come over at my Instagram page at Becoming Treese. Becoming, TRICE, Becoming Treese. Now, another thing, what you can do is once you're there, click the link in the bio. You will see the information on how to join us on a 26-week saving challenge. It doesn't matter when you start, it's going to be 26 weeks from where you begin, but we run this program through October throughout to the 26 weeks. It's in what? I don't know what it is this year. I have to double check. For me, usually it falls into the April, right? I created this challenge because I was just all over the place. I had no problem with attracting money, having money. My problem was managing money. My problem was where I was investing my money. My problem was not really keeping it for too long, right? So over time, I learned a few lessons, and I realized that, even with those lessons, and even with finding the formula that works, because I've used it over and over again and purchased big items in short amount of time. And at that point, I just needed accountability. I knew it worked. I found the formula. I was like, okay, well, it's not the formula, it's me, right? You have to be able to have accountability, take accountability, and acknowledge when, it's not the thing you're using or the system that you're using or created or the routine. You have to be able to identify, okay, it's me. Okay. And I realized it's me. And I said, okay, well, I can do this. Obviously, I've done it. So, but why is it I'm not sustaining? Why is it I'm not growing any more than a certain amount? I realized it was my belief. I didn't believe that I can have more. I just did only I believe I can have anything that I wanted, like anything that I said I needed. I always had that confidence, but I limited it because I didn't want it to be too big for my environment. So I was living out my life through other people. So I would do it just to take, to gift myself, big purchases to gift myself for, my birthdays and things like that. Another thing that I realized that I never used to do, like I've saved my down payment for my house several times. And I'm thinking back and I'm like, I never ended up purchasing or putting a down payment or going forward to it. And again, it came back to the belief, right? My belief wasn't big enough. My environment at the time didn't have any of that. So I don't know if it was I didn't want to move forward, leaving and going in there, and I don't know what it was. It was just one of those things that I always ended up using it for something, or someone came and actually stole it, and then so many things that just kept happening to me that just kept discouraging me from what I went forward to. But guess what? Everything I touch turns to gold. Everything I touch produced so much for me and helped provide for my family and I. So I loved it. So I hope these tips that I'm sharing with you serve you well. If you have any tips and you want to share with me, let me know, because we're all on this journey together. I'm always a student. Even though I teach so many others to do certain things, I learn from each individual. All of my clients I learn from, right? We're all students. So come with your skills, your talent, as I help you to continue to glow in your power and dominate your kingdom. I'm sorry, I sound a little raspy today, but it is what it is. But seriously, join us Again, send me a DM if you want to start a business, a drop shipping business, online business. We have so much things going. I have a 30-33 program that I have going on. So if you want to know more about that, that involves more physical movement, exercise, and great nutritional products. And just, we're all about just self love, and helping others to achieve that real inner peace and happiness that so many people are not experiencing. Okay, I will stay here all day and chit chat with you guys, but honestly, I gotta go to work. Like, right here is my work. And I just hope you guys have a wonderful day. So I love you. Love yourself. First love. Self love is your first love. And experience the love of God. All right? She's the hair. Get myself together, y'all. I'm gonna get myself together.